Hi, welcome to video 2 in the Thought, Feeling, Emotion uh, Mind Power Library. So I hope you went through the thoughts, how the chemical neural net fires up in the brain. And the feelings is what the next part is, the feelings. First of all, I want you to say your feelings are never wrong. Your feelings are never wrong. Meaning the feelings are so if you go thought, feeling, emotion, you feel is your personal guidance system. So, I mean, as men, I grew up in the Midwest in Chicago, and you're not supposed to feel, you're not supposed to show emotions, you're not supposed to cry, and that damaged a lot of men. So, a lot of male entrepreneurs and business owners come into my office and say, literally, I almost wept in my wife's lap when I was on the plane because I had such anxiety flying to the next gig that I couldn't even admit to her. And these are real clients. I have testimonials of these people, and they literally just said to me, "I don't know where I'd be if I didn't come to you and understand how the feelings work and the thought and emotion." And just, I had such anxiety that I couldn't even share with anybody. And as men, we bottle it up. I mean, women express it a little more, but it's still the same process. Male, female, I don't care what part of this blue marble you're floating on through outer space. We're all born. Every human being is born with a thought, feeling, emotion process. That's why I study it. That's why I teach it. And remember, even though we're getting kind of technical and deep into this, it really has to do with profits in your business. It has to do with stress and anxiety-free business, personal life, falling asleep instantly. So once you get in control of this funnel, this internal thought, feeling, emotion process, you realize, I am in control. I am stress-free. I have new great ideas, original thought from the last video, remember? So one important thing I want to say, if you can't feel somebody else's feelings, and I always give the example of a romantic feeling because it's obvious to most people, but oh, I could feel his love for me. You cannot. You cannot feel somebody else's feelings. I feel his love for me. What's happening is someone gives their attention to you so much that your guards go down, your gates open up, so you have a flood of emotion of love. So you contribute it to the other person. That's okay, but as long as you know that you can't feel somebody else's feelings, it reels it back a little bit. It gets you back in control of how the system really works. So technically, like from the last video, you have a thought, neural net fires up. When that neural net fires up, it's a chemical release. You feel that chemical. That's what feelings are. You literally feel the thought. That's why it's so important to get in control of the system. You feel that thought, and you contemplate that thought, and then you emote it out. We'll get into the next video, but that feeling places in the middle, and it's very important that it's never wrong. It's your guidance system. You feel that chemical thought, and I just want to say, well, then you emote it out through your body. We'll get into the next video, but big pharma can't do this for you. And the reason I say that, a little disclaimer, I'm not a medical doctor. Please don't ever change your medication or alter it from anything I say, please. But the reason I bring it up is because I work with a lot of people that are on medication, and big pharma is trying to emulate that middle ground. They're trying to emulate the feelings of the thoughts. So in short, if somebody has extreme anxiety, and I've worked with people that had extreme anxiety and they came into my office, in a very short period of time, they came back and they were numb, a little closed off, a little not opening up to me. I said, "What's going on?" "Well, I went to my doctor and I, prescribed me borderline blah blah blah." And I said, "Oh, what did he give you?" I don't get into it too deep. Like I said, it's not my profession, but I just like to know, because the reason I'm bringing up right now, big pharma is they're trying, in the beginning, I believe they tried to emulate that chemical response and change it and alter it in the brain, but there's no such thing as a chemical imbalance. So they could never do what the body does naturally, is what I'm saying. So the clients that came in after taking these medications, they didn't feel better. They didn't feel at all. And it's a big difference. And I know when if you are going through extreme anxiety and you take a pill and you could actually relax, it does feel better than the anxiety. But chemically, technically, you're not feeling at all. It's cutting off the feeling. So you're numb. I had a client come in and he looked at me and his eyes were black. He's like, well, I don't feel like myself. I feel like killing myself. And it gets serious. It gets serious. So Big Pharma can't do this for you. That's why I teach what I teach. It's so important for you to personally get back in control of this thought, feeling, emotion process. So remember, thoughts and emotions can be out of balance. Feelings are never out of balance. Feelings are never wrong. That's your emotional guidance system to feel the thought. Oh, I feel that thought. I don't like that feeling. Change your thoughts, like we talked about in meditation, in hypnosis. Change your thoughts. You're going to have a different feeling about it. When you emote it out the other end, emotions get a bad name because someone says, oh, she's so emotional. He's so emotional that, what they're saying is the emotions are out of balance. See, you can feel your emotions. It's like, it's when you emote it out, it's being in control of it, but still feeling it. Once you get in balance, it's not like you're cutting back or pulling back on anything. You're just balancing it. I emote out because I'm really happy about this. And we'll get into emotions in the third video, but your feelings, very important, are the crux. They're in between. They're your guidance system. Feelings are never wrong. So always trust them. Always, always, always. That's why we say a gut feeling. A gut feeling. In hypnosis and hypnotherapy, we call it body syndromes. The mind can only handle so much and it dumps into the body. Weight of the world on my shoulders. A gut feeling. All these analogies we speak of are literal. That's what the mind does. It dumps it into the body. So these feelings are telling you something. A lot of times when I have clients with physical ailments, I had a woman come in and she was biting her nails for 40 years. And long story short, I said, this first 10 minutes with her, I said, this happened when you were 6 or 7 years old. She goes, I'm not going back to 6 or 7. I said, not today, not today. But sure enough, the last session, I said, listen, we're going back to 6 or 7 because, we're not getting progress enough, because sure enough, she was on medication. I asked her, she's like, oh yeah, I was borderline. They put me on this. It cuts off my work. It cuts off the work internally that you're doing. So it makes it harder. We're going to get there. It just makes it harder. So I said, today we're going back to 6 or 7. And sure enough, she was in her basement in the Midwest, and 6 years old, they came to take her mother away. Her mother had a mental breakdown. They literally came with the white suits and took her away. And she was reaching for her mother, literally. That's the nails. That was the nail biting. When you're out of balance, it physically dumps it into the body. And that's where dis-ease comes from. There's a reason we call it disease, dis-ease. When the thoughts and feelings are never out of balance. When the thoughts are out of balance and you feel that chemically, your body can only handle so much, and then it starts breaking down. That's where disease comes from. So not only is your business going to get better, you're going to be stress and anxiety free, but I have personally never been to a doctor. I do not get sick. I meditate twice a day. I'm always in balance. Not always. I live on this human plane a little bit, so I get out of balance once in a while. But when I do get out of balance, I sit in the corner of my office here in the lazy boy, just like I did before this video. Close my eyes and pull it all together. And then, once you get in control of this thought, feeling, emotion process, you're going to realize you can have any business venture stress and anxiety free. So glad you're coming along for the ride.